We are in Whitecross. In the hub, we're going to be showing the 3-minute film. The film is very important to me because I want to show people how immigrants might feel nowadays and how different it is from back then and now.
I feel really excited that people is coming tonight to watch the film that I took part in it.
It feels really good and exciting, but then again it's kind of like scary because you don't know like what they're gonna think.
I'm quite nervous actually because I don't know how people are gonna take it, but I hope it's a good reaction.
Shared Freedom, Shared Future is a Heritage Lottery-funded project led by Whitecross School. Through making a film and exhibition, we want the students to educate their peers about the contribution of the Polish in World War II. We want to take our film and exhibition into schools and use it as a tool to challenge assumptions about migrants.
Didn't really know that Polish people helped in the World War.
At the age that I came here, 10 years old, you aren't really taught much about Poland.
I know that the project is to educate young people, especially, and then their parents.
I want this project to educate people about how we actually helped in the community and not just like steal people's jobs or anything, because we didn't come here for that. We came to live, not like shut ourselves off.
Through Shared Freedom, Shared Future, we want the students to reaffirm their own identity through learning about Polish history and meeting people who can bring it to life for them.
So today we are at the National Memorial Arboretum.
It's a memorial to commemorate the Polish involvement during World War II.
Personally, I was surprised because in every film that I've watched concluding to World War II, Battle of Britain, I've never seen a Polish pilot.
It does seem that a lot of Poles, even in Poland actually, don't really know about the Polish contribution.
Today, I was very honoured to lay the wreath down. Not only was I nervous, I was actually, I don't know, it was really emotional.
It does make me feel quite proud of my Polish heritage, especially that my grandfather fought in the Home Army.
Because it just makes you think about how, you know, they sacrifice their lives, some of them, and it's, you know, it's really brave in that. So yeah, fair play. So today we are going to RAF Norfolk to meet Richard Kornicki in a Polish museum.
The Polish Air Force played an extraordinary part in the Second World War. At a critical point in the Battle of Britain, about 6,000 Polish airmen arrived in Britain, having escaped from Poland, having escaped again from France, and took part in the Battle of Britain at its most crucial time. 303 Squadron, flying from here, RAF Northolt, achieved 126 confirmed victories, making them the most successful squadron of any that took part in the whole of the battle. They became a legend overnight and established a reputation for the Polish Air Force, which survived till the end of the war and indeed survives to this day. This station, RAF Northolt, is the RAF's only remaining Battle of Britain station, and here they treasure the memory of the Poles who fought here during the war. It was an enormous distress to every Polish serviceman in this country in 1946 that at the victory parade, which was 9 miles long and contained every Allied force fighting in the war, no Poles were permitted to march. Britain no longer recognized the Polish government in exile, so everything that had been done by the Polish airmen in the Battle of Britain, by the Polish army at Monte Cassino, by the Polish Navy at D-Day and throughout the war, suddenly counted for nothing. Those who stayed here were transferred to the camps set up, providing fairly basic accommodation and an opportunity for them to try to establish themselves in some way and start the rest of their life from there.
We're really lucky to have Foxley Camp near us, one of these resettlement camps, because there were loads in the UK, and this one's actually on our doorstep. This is our most local kind of source of information about the Polish people after the war. Some of the students who are on the project are immigrants themselves. It's really important for them to be able to identify with the story of migration and how the veterans ended up here in Foxley, in our locality.
So when did this become a resettlement camp for Polish families and veterans?
So in 1939, along with many other places in England, the estate was requisitioned by the war effort. Initially, Canadian units would come across from Canada, and then they would be sent off to Europe to fight. So my understanding is that the hospital camps were closed in July 1945. And from that time on, Polish families, as well as local English families that had been displaced by the war, came to live here.
Can you tell us what this might have looked like?
So all the buildings were knocked down in 1962, so I never saw them. But my understanding is that all these concrete pads that you can see, and imagine this whole landscape covered in concrete pads, because they are there, had the equivalent of Nissan huts on. Interestingly, a couple of those Nissan huts have actually been sold. There's one, I believe, at Newent, and another one at Bromyard. So you can see them there, if you like.
Yeah, I feel like there's a connection because I made a similar journey.
I do find myself missing my hometown from time to time.
I came from a war and it feels really horrible to leave your country. I'm sure they felt really badly and sad because they just lived their country and lived there, no home, no friends, no family.
I can't really imagine what it would have been like to actually have to stay here and not go back.
I think it will be really great to ask someone from the past what was it like in the past, and do you now see it in the present?
It's like finding a piece of history in a person, and I find that really intriguing.
I think it's really important for the students who are on the project to find a living link to the past, and their stories will be something they can actually relate to. And that we can save for the future as well. We want to find someone who ended up here after the war, because it's a Herefordshire project, and we want to find a Polish veteran who ended up at Foxley after the war so that we can interview them and include some information about them in our exhibition as well.
Very excited because we're finally going to be able to hear the stories of people who actually lived in Foxley. We're on a train to Penrose to meet our living link who came to Britain and lived in Foxley.
We're in Penrose. It's a Polish retirement village for veterans from the Second World War. Buildings here used to be a demobilisation camp, rather like Foxley.
I arrived in Foxley in autumn 1946 after the school, which was in Nazareth, was evacuated because there was fighting between Arabs and Jewish communities and the British as well. Not very happy about the fact that the contribution of Polish people were not recognized. The end of the war, the Polish army was not allowed to march with the British army.
Hello, Teresa. Thank you for letting us come and talk to you. This is Claudia.
In 1939, the Germans attacked Poland from the west and the Soviet Union from the east. And they took my father straight away.
Oh, right.
And they killed him. I think the young people should know more about history as a whole and about the contribution of Poles in the Second World War. English people didn't know where is Poland.
They talked about their stories in the war and it was really emotional. It made me feel really sad because I felt they like passed through lots of problems during the war. So I think they suffered a lot.
Just remind us, Abudi, why we came to Penrose to do our short film.
It's an ID site and it has a range of locations.
We could not have found any veterans that are still alive in Hereford.
With our script, we need to be really quite specific about what this is.
Because lots of British people don't know.
Yes, I know.
And we want to teach them.
We're just practicing the film that we have on the characters and the scripts that we did.
They have learned scripts and aren't just made in a few seconds. They actually require many changes.
I'm really nervous.
We definitely planned a lot about the filming and the structure of the film before we came here, which made it much easier to then get on with the work. And when I saw it acted out, I feel like people watching it will really understand what's going on. In the stories of the residents, a lot of people were quite racist towards them, especially after the war. Like, they didn't appreciate the Poles' help.
Because of the amount of fun, we just got through it and it's been a fantastic time.
You come back here. Always taking liberties.
No respect. That's why this country is a mess. Needs someone to clean it up.
No point whinging. The stall is still standing. I hope it's still standing when we come back from the deliveries.
Wymiotowała? Dobrze, przyjdę ją odebrać za pół godziny, dobrze? Dzięki. Dzień dobry. Sorry, hi. Can I have 2 kilos of potatoes? And some carrots?
Yep.
And jabłka. Jabłka? Apples.
How many apples?
4, please.
That'll be £4.20 altogether.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I must have left my purse at home. Look, would you mind if I bring it later? I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I come here all the time.
It's not a food bank.
Did a Polish lady just come in?
Yeah, just try to get away without paying. Polish people. Like you said, always trying to take liberties.
That's not what I meant earlier, Will. This stall is only here thanks to a Polish man.
But this is your dad's stall, who was an Englishman.
Yes, but like Britain, this stall owes a lot to a Polish soldier. You're right, my father was an Englishman. As English as you get. Never saw him shed a tear, never talked about fighting in Monte Cassino. Except once, like you, when I was young, I helped out on the stall. Except, unlike you, I'd be sweeping up, not tapping away on one of those smartphones. A man arrived in uniform, a young woman on his arm. I saw him approach the stall and my father froze. Before I knew it, my father was around the front of the stall hugging this man. He told me, put all the best fruit and veg in a box. even a box of eggs, and gave it him without a shilling change in hands. I'd never seen anything like it. After he'd waved them off, I asked who the Polish soldier was. That man saved my dad's life.
Dziękuję.
You're welcome.
For those younger children, you know more about what happened?
I thought it was fantastic. I thought the way in which it's connected people living today with things that have happened in the past, I thought was a really powerful message.
It's a really important project actually now in the light of Brexit and all the immigration issues to stress out all the relations between Polish and English people.
الانطباع كان فيلم بالعربي.
انطباعي كان الفيلم كثير رائع. وجيد جدا في تحليل الواقع وفي نقل الصورة بشكل جيد وواضح.
My impression to the film was really good, and I really enjoyed it. And it really gave a truth, like a truth picture of what's happening. And I'm proud of my child.
Film jest naprawdę wspaniały. Pomysł nakręcenia czegoś takiego dla nas, Polaków mieszkających tutaj, jest naprawdę bardzo ważny. O Jezu, nie, przepraszam. No, stop, sorry.
I could really empathize with the characters because they showed my feelings mostly and what I went through before.
I thought the film was actually really good.
I feel happy that people got moved by the film and that they finally got to see it.
Quite amazing, and it quite thought-provoking as well, and yeah, it made me feel quite proud.